Hello and welcome to my channel. Well, if this is mostly for new people into lock picking, but after you've progressed beyond a master lock number 3, it's just 4 pins, no security pins in it and anything. You might want to progress to something, a little bit more challenging. And I love locks that have security pins in them because they're not as easy to pick. And you have to do something with spools that you don't normally do on picking a regular lock, and that is counter rotation, going backwards. You have to go with the flow. You have to feel. You get a lot more feedback, is what I'm trying to say. So let me set this up, and then I'll all right. So like I said, the purpose of this is instructional. It's not for me to show you how fast I can pick this. I'll give you a little background information on when I picked this lock up. I knew it was going to have security pins in it, and I had the keys, but I didn't even look at the keys because I wanted to see how challenging this thing's going to be. And a lot of people use top of the keyway tensioning because, again, you have more room to put your pick through here and hit the pins. I'm using bottom of the keyway tension, which completely blocks that part right there and gives you very little room to maneuver in here. But it's fun, and I found out that there are 2 different sequences of opening this lock. There's 2 different ways of having your final pin open the lock. One is pin 1 or 2 is going to be the one that opens it, and the other one, it's pin 3 or 4. So without yammering too much more, I used 2 different types of tension wrenches. This one I used for a while, but if you're picking a lot, this round pressure right here, it really gets to bug you. The flat tension wrench is a little bit better for your fingers. And put it in there, and then let's start picking and start explaining what's going on. Now, this is the way I pick. I pick with my finger, so it kind of gets in your way a lot of times for what you can see. So I'm going to have to set the camera up here off at an angle. Already, if you first come in, already you start getting a false set. Again, a false set is where you're getting some rotation on the core, but it doesn't open. All right, so since it started this way, I'm going to go back towards the back, and pin 3 right here, see that pushing up and then stop? That was a spool. I pushed a little bit more and it clicked. I have to go back here in the back. I touched pin 4 and it moved just a little bit slightly down here. You get a lot of like I said, feedback on these. So now I'm coming back, working my way back towards the front. I got a deep false set. You can see how much more the core rotated. And now I touch pin 2 and I get a little bit more movement on the core. So it's not going to open. I don't think it's going to open up with pin 1 on this because we got our movement from the front. But sometimes when you go back there and you're setting spools in the back, when you do that counter rotation, these fall back down. So I'm just going to check and see if pin 1. No. See how it clicked, but it didn't move all the way. So I'm going to try pin 2. I'm going to go back all the way into the back of the lock here. I'm just checking 5. Feels solid. It's really a deep false set. 4 gave me a little bit of movement, but I'm putting quite a bit of pressure here. Not super strong, not master lock strong. Here we go. I get some counter rotation. See how I'm pushing on this pin. You see how my finger's coming back up? And that's it. So that was doing it from the front. If you can snake past yeah, that did it from the front. If you set them from the front, usually, let me see if I can set them from the front. So I'm applying a little bit of tension here. I push on pin 1, I get a little bit of movement. I go over here to pin 2, I get a lot more movement. I go back to pin 1, I get a little bit more movement. So now I've got like this much rotation on the core. I go back to pin 3. It's really hard to get to pin 3 without it's not something I can really tell if it's springy or not. I'm past it, and I'm on pin 4 right now. All right, I got pin 4 to give me a little bit of movement. I'm gonna go back to pin 5. Nothing. I'm coming back. Got a little bit more movement on the core when I went past 4. That one feels solid. This feels solid. I don't think it's pin 1. Oh, it is. It's pin 1 this time again. I'm trying to get it to pop where it's not pin 1 that opens. So I'm going to pause this video. Man, I'll just keep going with it. You know, and keep trying to induce that one. But it's a lot of fun. Sometimes I would get it to where I lost my false set and it brought it back, but I know I've got other pins set, and I just ease the tension a little bit, and you could hear it click and fall back, but you still have pins picked, so you haven't released all of your tension. And this lock had me doing that. All right, so I'm all the way on the back on like pin 4, and I'm pushing on it, and I'm feeling some rotation here, but not much. I'm working my way back towards the front, and there's nothing really going on with 1 and 2 right now. So we'll go back here and see if we can get a deeper false set by messing with the back of the lock rather than the front. Five's not doing anything. 4 is not doing anything. 3 is springy. 2 is springy. There's really not much going on here, so did you hear that? If you might have seen some of the pins fall back down. I had some oversets going on, and that's where the pins are separated. These are key pins in here, and these are the pins that are in the what they call the Bible of the core, you know. So it's split. And if you push too far up here is the shear line. If you push too far up on a key pin, you can get it jammed up in there. And what's keeping it held in place is your tension. Ooh, see, we got a little bit of movement right there. Sometimes you just touch these keys, and all right, now this one's on 3. I want it to open from in the back so that you could see it's not pin 1 that's doing it. I think this is it. If we can get it to not break the pick in the process. I'm getting counter rotation, but come on, baby, you can do it. Sometimes you got to talk to them. No, we set it back there. We set a spool back there, which dropped these in the back, so it's going to open up in the front again, I believe, but maybe not. Maybe we can get it to open in the back. Now, when I first got it, it was, here it is. There we go. You see how that was not in the front? See how far back this pick is? So it was pretty far back in there. Sometimes it'll open up that way. It just depends on how you set them. If you start from pin 1, like I said, you may not notice this if you're doing top of the keyway, because a lot of people just have a habit of going all the way back to the back, you know, and starting from the back and working their way to the front. And if it opens, they don't try and see, well, maybe with me with locks, man, I tried every possible way that the lock could be opened non-destructively. You know, if I could open it with raking, I'll open it with raking. If I could open it, you know, single pin picking, I'll try it just like I did, you know, from the front and then the back, and just to see, you know, because really understanding a lock, a lot of times, it's just like anything else. That's a water bottle underneath my chair there. I think I got 3 set again. We'll go back and look at the bitting, and I'll show you what I think is going on. But even without a key, see, this guy's got a pretty good false set on him right now. I don't want to yammer on too long, because we've already demonstrated what I wanted to demonstrate here. But hours of fun and cramping. It's not good if you got arthritis. Uh-oh, I got some motion right there. One of those pins. Right now I'm just looking for somebody here. I'm trying to find a pin that's down, but will give me some feedback. Sorry, I can't really see anything the way I pick here. That's all the way in the back, man. It's doing it. But another thing you got to watch when you're single pin picking is if your pick gets over here on the tension wrench, it'll give you that kind of counter rotation feeling. Same way, like if you're not on the pin, but you're on a core and you're pushing up, you think you're on the pin, but you're in between the pins. See right here, I got something going on. I got a lot of counter rotation here, but this is the most fight. See, now right there, I lost a lot of my counter rotation. I'm going to try to get it back. Nope. 3 pins fell back, so I'm back to 0. But sometimes when you have a false set and you lose it, see, there's a false set. Let's try to set these pins first. So I'm going to pick on 1 and 2 until I can get the maximum amount of movement out of them. There's 1. Give me a little counter rotation. Click. All right. So that's about the maximum. We did 1 and 2. So we go back and we try to get 3. Man. I've had it to where I've only had to pick like 2 pins sometimes. I mean 3 pins, like never really go all the way to the back, but I may have been hitting pin 4 without going. There it went. I didn't feel like I went all the way in. We're only like that far. So I don't think I ever went back and touched pin 5. So let's look at the bitting here. That's the way I leave them a lot of times if I got keys. I leave it locked, and then I leave the keys on the shackle. Alright, so it's pretty good bitty. You can barely tell it, but this pin 1, it's got to go all the way up. There's not really a cut. And then there's a little slight notch cut. That's pin 2, so that's why these 2 are hardest to fight. Then you've got a deep one here protecting this guy, which has got to go up. So a lot of times what I think what is happening is, sometimes it feels like I'm only going back, when I open it from the front, it feels like I'm only going back to maybe this or this, not even touching that one. And that is dropped down enough that it should interfere with the rotation of the key. But other times when I go from the back, I go back here and I'm fighting this setup right here, and I get this spool set, and then I come all the way to the front, and it's just a matter of getting these 2 guys set. So like I said, it's a lot of fun. One, because you really can't see it. One, right? That's an all the way up one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know, I'm pretty sure there's 5 pins in there. 1, 2. I don't know. Look in there with a microscope or something. X-ray vision. Anyways, whatever it is, if it's only 4 pins, man, it's fighting like a 5-pin lock. Locksmiths will know. You know, your first cutout, usually after the shoulder, is right there. Here's a drastic example. There's a shoulder. There's your first pin. That's an arrow. 5-pin lock. But anyways, yeah, there you go. Sorry for rambling on a little bit long. For those of you that, I don't do this on my knife channel, but I will on the lock sport channel. For those of you that haven't subscribed, please do, because even though it looks like a dead channel, I'm still alive. I still pick locks. It's just not as often as I used to. And yeah. And if you're in the knife channel and you're kind of interested in that, even if you're not that interested, you could really help out my Lock Sport channel by subscribing to it. I know a lot of you have already, and I'm pretty close to getting up to 1,000, but it hasn't reached that point yet. And then once the channel is monetized, I'll put a little bit more effort into it. But until then, YouTube and them are making all the money off ads that are showing up on this channel. I'm not getting a cent, so I don't want to give them too much content anymore, you know, until I get monetized. But yeah, there you go. There's a little heads up. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day.